It's 8 a.m. and a beautiful and sunny 65 degrees here in New Orleans. You're listening to Lofi Poli Sci. Oh yeah, Lofi Poli Sci podcast coming at you. It's your Monday morning edition of What's Going On in the World Today. Michael Pickering here, and we took the end of the week off last week, and boy do we have some catching up to do. Let's get straight into it. That news, fresh off that press. Let's talk protest news in the world. Things in Sudan are heating up as food shortages are increasing and protesters are seemingly calling for military intervention, like a military coup, question mark? I don't know, kind of hard to tell, but come on. We've had 3 military coups this year already. Isn't that enough, don't we think? But keep your eyes on Sudan, people. Things are developing way quickly over there. Now over to Central America, to El Salvador, where thousands took to the streets this weekend to protest. Well, everything about the president, really. Corruption, the handling of the economy, legalizing Bitcoin as official legal tender in the country, to which I am extremely fascinated to see how it turns out. Definitely big news going on there. And a bit of organizational protesting over in Asia by the Economic Organization of Asian. Well, they're protesting the coup in Myanmar by not letting the leader of the coup come to the Asian summit, where all the other heads of states will be. Ooh, a major snub here, huh? Question mark. Please, this is a tiny little slap on the wrist. A representative of Myanmar will most certainly be there for backdoor talks. This is all about PR and making themselves look good, and not at all about punishing a military that overthrew a legitimate democratic government. But let's go ahead and switch gears now to something not so intense. That's right, it's time for your weekend box office report. Just what movies came out and who went to see them. And top 5 go-getters were: number 1, Halloween Kills. That's right, it came out this weekend and opened to the tune of $50 million. Pretty damn good for a horror film, if I do say so myself. And really for any film, $50 million opening weekend. People went out and see their pre-Halloween horror flick this weekend. Number 2 at the box office was James Bond, No Time to Die, in its second weekend of release, taking in another $24 million, bringing its total so far to $99 million in just under 2 weeks. Damn. Number 3 is Venom, Let There Be Carnage, still staying up in that top 5 with another $16.5 million. Its 3-week total now, $168 million domestic and $283 million globally. Sheesh, Sony Pictures making that money with big smiles on their faces. Number 4, and it warms my heart to say this, The Addams Family 2 is still in the top 5. I love it, raking in another $7.1 million. And ironically enough, beating out our number 5. Number 5 is The Last Duel in its opening weekend box office. It only took in $4.8 million, and what really looks to be an Oscar bait kind of movie that critics are gonna love. Its opening weekend, it can't even beat out Addams Family 2. I love it, so awesome. And that's your weekend box office report. And have you been to the movies lately? What'd you go see? Write in, let us know. How'd you like it? Write a little review, and we'll read it on air if you want to. But for now, back to the grind. That is that Lo-Fi Global News. And tragically, an update to things in Afghanistan. After the Taliban has refused to work with the U.S. on tackling the increasingly dangerous situation of ISIS, they sadly struck again this past week. And you know, this is adding up to be more than just a few terrorist attacks here and there, and quickly turning into ISIS potentially challenging the Taliban for control, or at least posing a serious security risk in the country. Though it's still a bit early to call this one like that, but we'll be keeping a close eye on things moving forward here for sure. And also in Afghanistan news, U.S. paying families for and relocating them. You may have heard or seen a snapshot on this one. Well, this is all about during the chaos of the airport pullout of the country, right as the Taliban were taking over, the U.S. performed a drone strike on what they thought was a terrorist, and it was actually an aid worker. It's a big mess up on the U.S. Well, now they've announced that they will pay reparations to the family and may also relocate them. Though I will be waiting to see if this actually happens first, and we'll let you know as soon as we find out. And also, it looks like at the G20 meeting, that they decided they do not want Afghanistan crumbling into chaos economically speaking. So they want to help out the country, but a lot of key players don't want that aid going to the Taliban directly. So a whole lot of question marks going out there still. And out in Syria, it appears the government of the country and the official opposition, which I know, confusing because there's so many, right? But they have agreed to rewrite the constitution of the country. And this is interesting. Very, very interesting here. I wonder, considering President Assad just won another term in office this year? Well, no, he couldn't be. No, you don't think he's creating a situation like a pulling a Vladimir Putin, going to rewrite the constitution that way he can stay in for life? Question mark. Well, we'll let you know as soon as we do. And out of Syria and on into Haiti. And things there, well, they're tragically getting worse. The government is in complete disarray still. Crime is increasing. The power of local gangs is increasing. And just this weekend, 1 Canadian and 16 American missionaries were kidnapped. And let me tell you, Lo-Fi listeners, the U.S. government has already officially said that they were not getting involved in this whole situation since the president was assassinated this summer. However, this could change that stance. Keep your eyes open on this one for sure. Now let's move on over to Kashmir, India, or Kashmir, Pakistan, depending on your perspective, really. And we've talked about this quite a bit over the past year and a half, and how the disputed area of Kashmir and the situation there, does it belong to India? Does it rightfully belong to Pakistan? But it's been a while since we've talked about it. Well, that's about to change this week, as the situation there is changing, as multiple people have tragically lost their lives in the past 2 weeks, on both sides. It's about time we revisit the issue of Kashmir, and the dispute that's been going on for over half a century. Keep your ears open for this, Lo-Fi Nation. Now, let's switch gears again and get you your 5-day weather forecast for the Metro New Orleans area. And today we have a high of 75 degrees and a low of 67. Geez, it feels so amazing today. But it doesn't stick around long. Tomorrow we're back with our highs being in the low 80s and our lows in the low 70s though, so that still sounds good. And both days, today and tomorrow, very little chance of rain, so it should be pretty sunshiny out there. But for Wednesday to Friday, it will indeed be partly cloudy, with a chance of meatballs right at about 50% each day, and with highs in the low 80s and lows in the low 70s to the high 60s on Friday. It may be New Orleans, but autumn is finally here, my friends. Now let's get us our weekly dose of space news. Yes, indeed. First off, the second crew ever of the brand new Chinese space station have docked and boarded the station successfully. Well done, astronauts. And this crew will be staying on for longer than the previous crew, which stayed on for 3 months. But this new crew, consisting of 1 woman and 2 men, they'll be staying on for 6 months. And this is super exciting. A second space station out there. I love it. Give me more. Send me to one of them. I want to go, please. China built a second space station, Russia filmed a movie in space, and just this week, William Shatner, aka Captain Kirk of the OG Star Trek, actually went to space. And he's officially the oldest person ever to do so at 90 years old. Space is getting busy out there these days, and honestly, I want a piece of that space stuff too. Write in if you know how to help to get Lofi Poli Sci all galactic-like. And in animal news out there, some unnerving news at first, but then some goodness, so don't worry. So we've talked about the former drug lord of Colombia, Pablo Escobar, how he had some escaped hippos, and they repopulated in Colombia, and now there's about 80 of them taking over, if you call 80 of them taking over. But it's truly amazing how life just finds a way. These African hippos being transported to South America, and they're flourishing. Well, now, the Colombian government has started a sterilization program, and they've already sterilized about 1/4 of the herd, and will eventually do all of them. And really, people, I don't know how to feel about this. I know, sure, they're technically an invasive species and not native to the ecosystem. Sure, I get it. But really, Is sterilization the right move? I don't know. I like hippos a lot. And yes, I know they are dangerous and they claim more lives on the continent of Africa than any other animal. Okay, I get it. But still, I like them. And write in, give me your thoughts. What do you think? Sterilizing the right move or not? Hippos in South America. Now to some good news to some of our other furry animal friends that I love so much. Oh, the fluffy koala bear. Well, also previously talked about on the show, tragically, koalas in the wild are going through the serious suffering of increased cases of chlamydia. And we've talked about this, and now, though, we are starting to see the rolling out and testing of a new vaccine for the koalas. And this is amazing news. I mean, really, yes, indeed. Save the koalas, my friends, save the koalas. And we'll definitely keep you updated on how everything goes there. And a last piece of news, but in the same neighborhood, New Zealand. And the city of Christchurch, well, they are getting rid of their official wizard, who's been on the payroll for about 2 decades, and gets paid about $11,000 a year for, well, wizardry, I guess. I don't know, but only in New Zealand, man. This story is so funny. Just check it out for yourself. It's pretty interesting stuff. A wizard on the payroll of the city government. Sure, why not? And now we're going to do something. Every Monday, we're going to send you on your way for the week with a question of the week. Each week, I'll have a different question to you, and you send in your answers for us to talk about the following week. And this week, the question: 5 short-form daily shows, or once a week, every Monday, longer shows? What do you think? And I'm really tossing the idea around internally, about doing maybe an hour to a 45-minute Monday show instead of doing a 5-day-a-week show. But like I always say, Lofi Poli Sci is more than just me. So you get a say in this as well. And how do you write in with your response each week? ? Easy. Lots of ways. Choose the one you like. Follow us on Instagram and comment on the episode post. Follow us on YouTube. Comment on the videos. Follow us on LinkedIn and comment there. It's under me. Email me directly. There's no shortage of ways to get your voice sent out to us. So what do you think? Stay 5 short-form shows a week, or switch to 1 long-form show every Monday? I'm curious your thoughts. And that's your Monday morning edition of What's Going On in the World Today. And stay tuned for a special Halloween horror movie episode coming soon with writer, director, bookseller, and Hipsville AD's Gregory Day. And do you have your own top 10 list ideas out there? Send them on in. Always remember that Lofi Poli Sci is more than just me. It's the we that we be. Peace and well-being to all my human beings out there. Much love and always the best. Pickering, signing off.